Welcome to UpLift's workshop. We're going to be looking at uniting Michigan teens and parents in the efforts to combat teen suicide. My name is Trenton Chandler, and I will be directing the workshop today. So the first thing we want to look at is, why is teen suicide such an important topic? Well, we can see that from 2007 to 2017, the national suicide rate has increased 56% in people aged 10 to 24. In Michigan, that's 70.1% of an increase, and today that's 15.7 deaths per 100,000 teens in Michigan who die to suicide each year, making it the second leading cause of death for teens in Michigan. And that in Michigan, the suicide rate is higher than the national average. From this chart, we can see that males are more likely to commit suicide than females. Although both genders matter, we need to really take in concern of maybe what are some of these factors that are leading to why males are a little bit higher in Michigan than the females. So a big problem is teens don't know when to seek help. And there is a difference between feeling depressed and having depression. And when we're depressed, it's normal feelings. We have feelings of sadness, maybe we feel lonely, and we spend maybe a little bit more time in our room than we normally would, or we are struggling with the loss of a loved one, or maybe other challenges we endure in life. Those all can give us depressed feelings. But when we have depression, it's a little bit different, because those feelings become overwhelming and they can lead to physical symptoms and some of these feelings last for long periods of time, and usually more than 2 weeks. And they lead from us having a normal lifestyle or routine. And those are things like a regular eating diet, or getting enough or too much sleep, or maintaining good, healthy relationships with our friends and family. So if we ever feel like we're in a suicide crisis, we need to know where to get help. And the first suggestion would be to get a hold of the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And they're an organization that's free. They have multiple language. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they have many programs and resources to help get people who are struggling with suicide get back on their feet and help them move towards a brighter future. Another option would be to tell an adult or somebody that you feel comfortable confiding in. And it may seem hard, but it's not a weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. It's just like any other illness that we may endure in our lives. For me, if I have allergies and asthma that I deal with usually on a daily basis, and I don't feel awkward or feel like that it's a weakness to tell somebody when I'm having a problem breathing, or when I'm struggling with allergic reactions. And that's how we need to make getting help for suicide, because it isn't a weakness, and it should be more normal to get help when we need it. So a good way to make an analogy out of depression is like waves on the ocean. We can't really get rid of those waves, and they come in different sizes. Some may be bigger, like the one on the left here, and some may be just calmer on the other. But the best way to do it is learn how to ride those waves instead of being overcome by them and drawn out to sea. And some of the ways that we can do that are by maintaining a routine, being active, such as getting some exercise, staying in touch with loved ones, seeking therapy when we need it, striving to eat a healthy diet, avoiding high consumptions of alcohol, building a support network, and getting a healthy amount of sleep. So, for parents especially, why is it important that we know and learn how to recognize the signs of suicide and depression? Well, for me, it's a really personal. I've had a real personal experience with this, and it goes back to my friend Rhett. And Rhett didn't have very many friends through high school, and I became pretty close with Rhett, and we spent a lot of time, especially in math class together, talking and working together through the math problems. That we developed our own kind of friendship. And Rhett had this bracelet that I guess you could call it our friendship bracelet, because that's what we bonded over all the time. And it wasn't that that bracelet was anything impressive, or I guess not impressive, but it was unique to us, and it might not be unique to the outside public, but it was unique to Rhett and I. And me not knowing the signs of suicide, Rhett gave me that bracelet one day, and I just thought it was him being a friend. And later that night when I got home, my mom had told me the news, and I felt pretty sad, and I felt a little bit responsible because I did not recognize Rhett's cry for help. And if I had learned those signs of suicide and depression, I may have been able to help Rhett out that day. So that leads into how parents feel when it comes to recognizing the signs of suicide and depression. And there are a majority of parents who feel confident that they would be able to recognize signs of depression and suicide in their children, and the rest feel that there are just too many barriers. But realistically, 40% of parents can't even differentiate between normal mood swings and signs of depression. That's nearly 50%, or half of our parents, who couldn't even be able to tell or recognize if their child was struggling or not. So today, I really want to focus on some of the warning signs of suicide and depression. And as we go through these, kind of take a mental note, because we're going to have an activity where to see how many of these we can remember. So the first one is trouble thinking or concentrating. Second is fighting over or arguing over the little things. The third is extreme sensitivity to rejection or failure. The fourth, low self-esteem. Fifth, sadness. Sixth, loss of interest in the things they used to love. Seventh, giving away personal belongings. Eighth, talking about feeling hopeless or having no purpose. And the ninth one, sleeping too little or too much. And these aren't all of them, but these are a good majority of some of the most common signs that you might see in teens who are struggling. So take a minute to really try to get those memorized, and then we're going to see how well you did. All right, so the first one is trouble thinking or concentrating, and then fighting or arguing over little things, extreme sensitivity to rejection or failure, low self-esteem, sadness, loss of interest in the things they used to love, giving away personal belongings, talking about feeling hopeless or having no purpose, and sleeping too little or too much. So how well did you do on that? It might seem a little bit overwhelming, but don't give up on it, because it might just save someone that you love. So once we have those, how do we respond to those situations? Well, when we know the risk factors, then we can be able to recognize them, just as we can see in this picture right here. She knows it, and so she's recognizing that this guy's feeling hopeless and his life has no meaning. The best thing that a parent can do is approach the child and then just listen to them. Many times teens feel that their parents don't spend enough time really listening to their concerns and worries. Then we can encourage them or encourage them to seek help if they need it. And then most importantly, it's important to be involved in their lives and to express our love. Love is a very powerful tool that we can use to help our children. And then lastly, involve others when it is necessary. And that will complete our workshop for today. For more information, you can reach out at uplift@gmail.com or our phone at 555-876-3213 or our social media pages or our website. And if you have any feedback that you would like to give, you can leave it down below in the feedback section. And thank you for joining our workshop today. I hope everyone has a great afternoon.